This is Tyler Stenik. I'm here with Chauncey Haworth, and we're with Terra Monstrum, the podcast that covers horror, urban folklore, and film all in one.
All things culty.
All things culty. This week, we watched... I wish we'd watched the original Predator, but no, we watched the new film, The Predator. And Chauncey, what's your initial take on it?
Well, my initial take is I am upset with the name. So just even before getting started, I find the name to be ridiculous. The fact that we've gone from Predator to Predator 2 to Predators to now The Predator. It seems a little de-evolutionary.
Are you saying you're not looking forward to the next movie in the series, A Predator?
Yeah, or G Predator?
Some Predators?
Right. Yeah, totally. Half a Predator.
What about Prederi? Can we get a scientific name covering multiple predators?
It could get political and become the Predarati.
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. That also makes me think that they're bursting in places they shouldn't be, and no one was expecting them, much like the Inquisition. Nobody
expects the Predarati.
Nobody would.
So I don't like this because, for one, it makes I'm a generally cynical, hateful human being, and it just makes it perfectly aware to me that this movie was named for marketing and no other reason.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, because there's very, very, very clearly multiple predators within this film, and I would say they're both equally kind of the focus.
Yeah, I agree. The one guy went down a little disappointingly and anticlimactically, I have to admit.
Oh, yeah. No, for sure.
But, it makes me think of, what was the one? Prometheus. I was really excited that Prometheus was a prequel to Alien, but had its own name and concept. I went into it expecting art. I did not go into this expecting art.
Oh, no, not at all. No, I had friends over because I was specifically expecting the cluster that we ended up getting. So, technically I got exactly what I was expecting, although that's still disappointing.
Yeah, but they can always be happy. They can make as many movies as they want now, including Alien versus Predator, and really be confident that it's almost impossible that they could make a movie as bad as Predator 2.
It's true.
So it's like they already hit rock bottom and they're scraping their way back up, and everything from here on out is a success compared to Predator 2.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I would have thought, but honestly, I think I prefer Predator 2 over this, so.
Yeah, but I think it was just the age that I watched it. I can't tell.
I don't know. Sometimes I'd have to rewatch it again, but I do recall it being at least more like having more of a mood to it, I guess. A weight and seriousness that this movie certainly didn't have.
Yeah, I agree. The Predator was pretty much Alien versus Predator, only they couldn't get the alien to show up.
Yeah,
so they just had another Predator.
No, but it was just as hokey. I mean,
yeah, I agree.
We could have replaced that military team with a crack group of pizza delivery boys, and
yeah,
we're right back where we started.
Yeah, it's funny. I was reading about it today, and both James Cameron and Ridley Scott, when Alien versus Predator came out, basically said that it had totally cheapened the Alien franchise. And I was sitting there thinking, well, that's not fair. What about Predator and blah, blah, blah. And so now that I've seen this movie and really sort of take it all into consideration, it's true. It did cheapen the Alien franchise. It made the Predator franchise a little more credible.
Yeah.
But it cheapened the Alien franchise.
It is all sad, though, because it's been just getting cheaper and cheaper since, the initial first incredible installments of Predator and then, Alien and Aliens.
Yeah.
It's been a steady downhill progress since then. And
I personally, I know it's taboo, but I loved Prometheus and Covenant.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, I loved them. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. We're going to have to make that an episode. Then.
All right. We'll cover this later.
Okay, so the first
to...
factoid that I got here that's really interesting is that this movie, The Predator, was directed by Shane Black.
I love Shane Black. He was coming in hot off of deluding me, The Nice Guys, which is one of my favorite, buddy type comedies. Like it was an amazing film through and through. So you would have thought, oh, he's going to take that momentum and carry it over into his next project.
And he did on a buddy
couplet, and maybe that's where it went wrong.
So Shane Black was actually in the original Predator.
Yeah, he was the medic. What was he?
Rick Hawkins, the glasses guy, the thick glasses guy.
Yeah.
And then in my little study of Shane Black, I also found out that he had a bit role as a cop in the police station in one of my favorite horror movies of all time, Night of the Creeps.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and like Night of the Creeps is just such a great movie to me that anybody who even slightly had their finger on it is like impressive to me on some level.
Oh, no. And are you still impressed having seen Predator?
Well, I mean, you got to like a movie for what it is, and most people who watch Night of the Creeps will probably not find it as great as I do. So, yeah.
Good answer. Good answer.
That's my political answer in my.
Yeah. I like Shane Black. I think he's good at what he does. I just, looking back through his filmography, he was probably the wrong choice to begin with, and. That's certainly not on Shane Black for having been chosen to helm this movie. He wouldn't have gotten the offer if somebody didn't believe he could do it.
Yeah, but I mean, I, like you, have a day job, and, I do SEO and marketing and stuff like that. And if somebody hired me to build their house, granted, it's on them, but I think it's also on me for taking the job because I don't build houses.
Yeah.
So he's not entirely off the hook here. But as an artist, I guess you got to try to stretch yourself,
Yeah, that I think your little analogy is more apt if like you did build sheds, and then somebody's like, "Hey, you're pretty good at that shed building. You want to build this house?" And you're like, "Yeah, I can totally do it." Not so much.
Right. Okay. I build circuses, but I don't build serious buildings with aliens in them.
There we go. Now, let's go back to overall plot, action, pacing.
Yeah. All right. The plot, I'm really kind of tired of like the saving the kid plot from the alien monster.
Oh, that's exhausting. I mean, they should have stricken that from the very beginning. We don't need to. Also, the idea that autistic children have basically superpowers. Statistically, that's way off base. My nephew's autistic, and there's certainly no shaping of alien technology in the cards.
And even if there was, I don't think you can just float that by. I think you're going to have to back it up a little bit in the movie. They just floated it going, oh, alien must want him because he's autistic, and like they just all ran with that. Okay, that makes sense, and that was the end of it.
Yeah. No, for those who don't know, the broader premise of the film is that aliens are actually harvesting DNA from creatures across the universe to make themselves better and cooler and bigger.
Which was pretty much all figured out in a conversation. They didn't really have any proof except for the one little vial, and the girl sort of came up with that as a reason, but I mean, it was never really proved.
Yeah, that, and I feel like the best counter argument to that I read was somebody asking, why would they have to keep coming back for more and more DNA?
Totally.
Like, also, if this gets a little deeper into the plot, we'll save the ending for the end. But the idea that if our predator wasn't here specifically to kill people and possibly had an agenda where he's here to help people, why is he then proceeding to murder basically everyone he encounters and not attempting communication of any kind?
Yeah, I agree. It was not very well thought out on any level.
Yeah, well, I think part of that is that the predator's never been a creature who has an agenda other than I'm the hunter and you are the prey. So you're trying to foist, this greater sense of character onto a alien that has never had it. So we definitely need some more exposition in a film if you're bringing that into play after 4 films of not that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and down the lines of that, as much as I'm irritated with the saving the kid plot, I got to say that kid acted pretty well.
Oh, he's a good actor. I like the kid.
Yeah, he was good. He's coming up in that Dr. Sleep movie, I guess, with Ewan McGregor.
I don't know about that one.
Dr. Sleep is like the sequel to The Shining.
Oh, okay.
And Ewan McGregor plays Danny all grown up.
All right, I'm in, because that I think that kid could certainly pull off weird horror movie vibe.
Yeah, and the book's already out there, but
yeah.
The other thing that was really just kind of pissing me off in the stereotypical kind of way is the idea of a bigger, badder version of the baddie being the bad guy.
Yeah.
It's like, I got
it's not exciting.
Yeah.
I think just for sheer, what am I expecting? Oh, I know everything this creature can do. It can just do it bigger.
Yeah, well, that's one thing I appreciated about Alien Covenant is they actually made him smaller in a lot of the cases. And I feel that we live in a world where we see the power in small things, in a world of phones and nanotech and designer babies and stuff like that,
Well, that, and they made him more unique in Covenant, not just here's an oversized version of what exists. Like, here's any different version of what exists already, just different sized.
Right. Yeah.
And all the large creatures on Earth have died out historically and gotten smaller. So I don't even know that getting giant would be an advantage for the Predator.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, totally. Yeah, and then I also have to say that, okay, so you and we used to work with Blake, a friend of ours, Blake.
Yes.
And Blake used to say that he refused, I hope he was joking, but he used to say that he refused to watch any movie made before the first Jurassic Park because...
I feel like he wasn't joking, but go on.
I don't think he was either, but, I like to pretend he was.
Yeah.
Because, everything before that, the effects and the cinematography and everything was terrible, he'd say. And looking back, my daughter loves the Jurassic Park movies, and I watched the first one not too long ago, and the effects are good, but still they're obviously there. I felt that the big Predator in this was very blue screeny.
Oh, it was poorly done, and I think they knew it. I mean, it didn't feel organic. It felt like a 3D character superimposed into this film.
Yeah, there was something very flat about it, yet very face about it.
And the colors. I mean, lighting is one of the most difficult things to do. Yeah. And, that's why a movie like Jurassic Park succeeds so well, because when they're doing big CGI, they're doing it in a darker environment most of the time. And it lets you hide the flaws of the technology.
Right.
We should be... We're at the point where they could have made a great Predator if they wanted to, a great big guy. But obviously, I would assume it's a budget call, and it just wasn't there.
Yeah, they couldn't Gandalf it.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, so I definitely thought that was ridiculous.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
But there's a little controversy here with this movie, I also learned, and that was that Shane Black had hired a friend of his that was a convicted child sex guy, and he had actually had a scene in the movie, but Olivia Munn freaked out and had his scenes removed. Yeah,
I heard that too. And then no one backed up Olivia Munn in any of the interviews where it was brought up.
Right.
Yeah. No, so I think that's all a giant double-edged sword. And,
yeah. But I thought it was interesting. I thought maybe those scenes were where the plot was actually explained better.
You think so? They're like, oh, all of that, all of the key story scenes involved a sexual predator. So we're really hosed now.
Yeah, well, that's the Hollywood way, you know.
That this podcast
But
just got a lot darker.
what'd you think of the dogs?
Oh, yeah. I honestly had flashbacks to Ang Lee's The Hulk.
Oh yeah,
Like,
totally. With the poodle thing.
yeah, just the dogs in general, their faces. Yeah, they really, they didn't feel intimidating.
No, you know, there is no Dana, there is only Zool. Kept going through my head.
There we go. Yeah. No, I mean, they could have been claymation and it would have looked pretty similar to what we got.
Yeah. My main complaint with them is the dreadlocks. I don't see why they had dreadlocks.
Yeah, why would they? And if they're experimenting on everything, you know, they're bioengineering these dogs. They'd engineer them to be the perfect dog hunting companion, not the perfect predator head. You know what I mean?
You know, it's not the Batmobile, it's a hunting dog.
Yeah,
You don't need to carry your brand.
Yeah.
Yeah, so overall, I feel like that, the carrying the brand, all this stuff, it's like they made an R-rated, violent, shoot-'em-up killing movie that would also appeal to children.
Yeah. No, and the script was really pretty hokey.
It was
Just
basically
across the board.
Yeah, it was basically Alien versus Predator Requiem, only without the alien. It was like the same story.
Yeah. No, it felt. I mean, the script points and the broad characterizations felt the same too.
Well,
yeah. I mean, we didn't even cover his group of our main character's group of army friends, who are for some reason all packed into a bus going from one place to another in the middle of the night.
oh yeah, totally.
Where are they going? Where'd they come from?
They're all being shipped off to the mental asylum.
From the VA hospital in the middle of the night?
Yeah, well, I think it was important to get the alien guy out of there.
Yeah.
Now I'm just filling in what I think they were thinking. But
Okay.
I totally get what you're saying. You know, I'm not saying it was obvious.
Yeah. But I do want to highlight a couple things. There were some highlights for me. Personally, when Olivia Munn is stuck on top of the bus, and we think that our good guy is going to catch her, and then she just rolls off and out of frame to hit the ground. I thought that was very funny.
Yeah.
Real highlight for me. Also,
I'm gonna guess that made it into the trailer.
it didn't, but it should have.
Yeah.
And our death scene with the guy pegged to the tree and the other guy on the ground, and they look at each other like, buddy, you know we're gonna have to do this now. And then they shoot each other.
Yeah, what's up with that? What's up with how good of a shot are you in that situation?
Bananas.
How good of a shot are you, and what's the likelihood you fired off at the same time? How many times did these guys practice this?
Right? I mean, I feel like the odds are much better that one of them gets shot, not killed, the other one misses, and then
or maybe tweaks out a little because he has Tourette's.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. Lame. Yeah. Absolutely lame.
No, I'd stamp a firm pass on this one to anybody who's waffling on whether or not they should spend their time seeing it.
As a horror movie science fiction fan, I have to say, regardless of what anybody said, I would watch this movie, and I did kind of enjoy it because it has aliens killing each other with laser beams and glowing blood. And really, that like checks off a good 50% of the stuff on my list.
All right, let me put a addendum on mine. If you have a group of friends who like making fun of movies and they're funny people themselves, bring them into a room and watch this movie with them.
Totally. Yeah. Well, you're going to love this. The producer, John Davis, has said that The Predator set up 2 sequels that he hopes Shane Black will return to direct.
Why? Is this after it failed commercially, or is this before it failed commercially?
But Black responded with, I would love to say we've been planning a trilogy, but I take one day at a time. In motion picture terms, that's one movie at a time. So Shane knew.
That's good to hear. It's good to hear.
I like how it set up 2 sequels. Like, where exactly did those happen?
Yeah, for anybody who wants a good alien film, MST3K Mac and Me is currently on Netflix, and that was delightful.
I'm not sure if somebody going to see The Predator is looking for delightful, but that's funny.
I mean, the characters are probably deeper than the Predator. The alien makeup effects might actually be better than Giant Predator. Also, there is a shootout at the end, so I feel like we have most of the bases covered there, Chauncey.
Yeah, and it also sets it up for Mac and Me Too, where Mac has to fight like the giant version of Mac.
That would be the best movie ever.
Yeah. All right, well, that was The Predator. All right, you're listening to Terra Monstrum. I am Chauncey. He is Tyler. And we are talking about Dead in a Week or Your Money Back from 2018. This was a Tyler pick, huh?
Yeah. The trailer made it look really good. I'm not going to say it was bad, but I expected more. I thought maybe visually there'd be a bit more bite to it. Yeah. But overall, I mean, it's slightly confused about its own identity, but it wasn't a bad film.
Right. Like on paper, I think it looked great. So, like I looked it up, I'm definitely not a comedy guy, but if I do go after a comedy, I do like the British ones. I like the sort of farce kind of potential.
Are you like a Lock, Stock, Man? That kind of British comedy? Or are we talking like...
No, I like those, but I mean like Saving Grace and Waking Ned Divine and The Full Monty. Okay. I liked a lot of that stuff,
Gotcha.
And, the sort of farce where all the small jokes are set up to deliver a big crescendo of jokes in the end. But, so I'm looking this up because I'd never heard of it, and it had like 1 star on Rotten Tomatoes or something in the search results.
That's rough. I didn't even look at Rotten Tomatoes.
And I'm all like, uh-oh, this is going to get weird, So it was definitely better than I thought it was going to be going into.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Set the bar pretty low.
I'll try and keep it there. So every movie I choose is better than you thought it would be.
Yeah, right. Well, it has the Predator 2 effect. Everything afterwards can only get better. So if you have a 0 on Rotten Tomatoes, basically.
So true.
But, with critics in general, I found that I try not to listen to them because most critics nowadays, when you read the ratings, it's not actually based off of critics. It's based off a bunch of hating internet trolls who took the time to say whether they liked it or not.
Yeah, that or robots, or I don't know if you noticed, but people are absolutely willing to leave reviews before a movie even comes out.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, check IMDb for any movie that's going to be released soon where they've accidentally allowed people to leave reviews beforehand, and there'll be reviews. Not like I've seen the movie, but like I watched the trailer and this looks really great. 5 stars.
Wow. Yeah, people just don't get the concept at all, do they?
No, it's really got right over their heads.
Yeah. Well, I do think it was a cool concept, and I get why it was made because I'm sure it looked great on paper.
Yeah, I think I didn't write any of them down, but if you listen to the few lines that they do reuse in the script, like they're not even choosing zingers for to bring a joke back. They're just choosing kind of random lines. I felt like that kind of sums up the movie itself.
Yeah, I agree. It was just a bit of a hack job. All the characters were really likable.
Yeah, but it's certainly not looking for the best way to do anything.
No.
Regarding directing, regarding the scripts, how characters act. They've got the concept and they're willing to get it done, but they're not trying to figure out the best way to do it.
Yeah, and they couldn't decide if they were going to be serious or comedic. It sort of clunkily went back and forth. It was kind of like, shifting gears in an old piece of crap car where you're just you can feel it drop into place.
Yeah. No, and I mean that goes into the music that I wanted to talk about too, and that we, during some really, really boring action scenes, we get some really fast-paced music for what's happening on screen.
Oh, like they were trying to pick it up? I didn't notice any of that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, when they're running away from the hitman the first time, our main character and the woman who's inspired him to live.
Right.
Yeah, they play this crazy fast music and they keep it going all the way through the we've escaped and now we're driving through the countryside.
Right, on a
We're
road
in
that
a
looks like
house
a
and we
walking
have to
path.
start. Yeah, we're in a house and we have to start a fire, and meanwhile you're hearing wah 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 wah, pa 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 pa, just
Yeah.
rapid fast
Okay.
music. It was confused, and I don't know if you noticed the Western music kicking in anytime they felt like they had a hitman standoff scene.
No, I didn't.
No, oh man,
Kind of glad I didn't.
no, the two hitmen at the kitchen table, they were playing really low Western music that whole entire scene.
Oh, were they?
Yeah.
That's funny. That's funny. That scene was cute.
No, it was cute, and that's what I'd say about the movie overall. Like, it's cute.
Yeah,
I don't know, if you're sick, if you're sick on a Sunday and you're really dreading work the next day and you have a bowl of chicken soup in front of you, this could be a neutral movie you could put on and not have to really use your brain.
Yeah, you could nap on the couch to this.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, I
Also,
feel that they go for it.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I was really surprised at the amount of literature a Hitman's Guild has in the modern day. Also, I appreciated the use of graphic cartoons for the various ways you could have yourself murdered.
Right. Yeah, that was cool too. That's why it looks so good on paper. It's like you could take any of these elements and explain it, and it would make it sound like a pretty good movie.
Yeah, it feels good and zany. But I've got a prime example of the we're gonna get this scene done, but we're not doing it the best way we can. Is the Guild of Assassins office, not the one where he meets his boss, but the one where he goes to pick up his assignment.
Yeah.
Looks like a derelict Hertz car rental.
Yeah. And that could easily be made funny.
Yeah. I mean, that could have been a great scene. Even with the environment they had, they could have done something with it. But they just chose not to.
That brings up a good point. The whole time I was aware that I was watching a comedy, but none of it was actually funny.
Yeah.
The closest thing to funny was like the montage of him failing to kill himself.
Yeah. And then after that, there wasn't really anything in the way of jokes or delivery that would make you think you're supposed to laugh.
Yeah, and I thought that star Anurin, Bernard,
he was better in the trailer.
Yeah, he's like the new Elijah Wood. It's like they could have had Elijah Wood, but they couldn't, so they ended up going with this guy.
Yeah, but Elijah's a little better because he's just a little bit spookier on his own. But
yeah, that's true. He's got those squirrely eyes.
Yeah, that and he, this guy, I don't think he had the subtle, nuanced emotion down.
Yeah.
Which is what he was seeming to go for in each scene. So.
Yeah, but that Anurin guy, he's in a movie I want to see called The Citadel. I haven't watched that yet.
Mm-hmm.
And but he was in a movie I saw called The Faculty that my daughter loves. But
the old school
I'm
Faculty
sorry,
movie.
No, I'm sorry, The Facility.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like the one with Elijah Woods in it. That Faculty.
No. Yeah. The Faculty was actually really good. That's Robert.
Oh, I love that movie. That movie's so fun.
Totally. Yeah. But The Facility, it was sort of a shaky cam, sort of reality cam style thing where they're experimenting on these people in a hospital, and he was pretty forgettable in it. But
yeah, okay.
But I've heard The Citadel is really good, and I want to see that.
Yeah.
But the Hitman, Tom Wilkinson.
Oh, he's great in everything. That's why, that was one of the big reasons I'm like, this movie can only be so bad.
Yeah, as soon as I saw that he was in it, that's what I was thinking is that's why you wanted to see it. And it's weird that we live in a world that nerds like us are just all, a character actor nobody knows my name is in this. It must be great.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, you have to be that nerd. I mean, it's guys like us that love Gary Oldman. It's not the movie-going people, But he was recently in The Titan, I guess. That was terrible.
The Titan?
The Titan, yeah. Made for Netflix. You could, how Netflix has those couple of films that are made for
is
the
that
big
the one
screen.
is that the one with what's his face from
Sam?
Yeah. Yeah. Where it's
And
basically, it sounds like Avatar on Earth almost. is
Yeah,
what we're getting.
right. And
Yeah, it
you
makes
can
you feel
tell that
bad
some
for
of
Sam
these
Worthington.
totally, man. You can tell that some of these Netflix movies are made and produced for Netflix, and some of them are great. But when I watch some of them, I'm just all like, this obviously was going to go for the big screen, but didn't make it. And Netflix picked it up, and that's
Oh,
how I feel
100%.
type.
Yeah.
But where I really recognize that actor from, he was Carmine Falcone in Batman Begins.
Oh, yeah, he was, wasn't he?
Yeah, yeah. And then coincidentally, I just happened to watch The Patriot on Thanksgiving, and he's General Lord Cornwallis in there. I'm just all, oh, I know that guy. So I was
I mean,
excited.
that's the great thing about character actors is that, they're in everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And very few of them make it to top tier, like Dustin Hoffman and
Yeah, yeah.
who is Popeye Doyle?
Popeye Doyle.
He played English Bob in The Unforgiven. Gene Hackman.
There we go.
Yeah, yeah. So I think, yeah, Tom Wilkinson, as soon as I saw his picture on there, I'm just, there's no way this can be that bad.
Yeah.
And I think my final complaint is I could see the timer going by, so I knew that the movie was about to end. But there really was no climax at all.
Yeah, not really.
There was no build-up, there was no climax, there was no release, there was none of this tension that movie audiences expect now.
Yeah, yeah.
So all in all, I would say this was a no for me.
Yeah, it's a no for me. If you want a great character actor film, I was trying to think of the most recent standouts who've made it into the limelight. Yeah. And Sam Rockwell, 100%. I'm glad he's finally made it.
Oh, totally. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he deserves it. So go watch Moon, was what I was going to say.
Yeah, I just look at Sam Rockwell and I start laughing. He's like he's like Kenan Thompson for me. He just has to make a look on his face, and I think it's funny.
I agree. He's just overall a funny guy, and he does have just the right look. That you're always going to have a good time hanging out with Sam.
Right, right. So how do we end these things? Do we end it with something like Dead in a Week or Your Money Back and You Should Get Your Money Back, or should we come up with singers?
No, that's not a bad idea. I kind of like it.
All right, yeah. Well, next time we'll have to come up with some sort of awesome zinger. But for this time, I would say Dead in a Week, Your Money Back, good Sunday afternoon nap watch. But aside from that, save your money.
Yeah. I was a fan of Dead in a Week, Your Money Back, Get Your Money Back. I'm just going to repeat what you said, Chauncey.
All right. Dead in a Week, Get Your Money Back.